Everything around us seems separate. We see the sun in the sky, the trees on the earth, and ourselves standing in between. We speak of me and you, this and that, as if we are all independent. But this is only how the mind perceives the world. It is not the true nature of existence. Imagine a wave in the ocean. It rises, moves, and falls back. From one perspective, the wave looks separate from the sea, but in truth, it is never apart. The same water that makes the wave also makes the ocean. This is how we exist within the universe. We appear to be individuals, yet we are never truly separate from the great flow of life. Why does this matter? Because the illusion of separation creates suffering. When we think we are alone, we feel fear. When we see others as different, we create conflict. We build walls between self and other, right and wrong, forgetting that everything comes from the same source. This illusion also makes us chase things outside ourselves: success, recognition, security, believing they will complete us. But no matter how much we achieve or own, we still feel something is missing. That is because we are looking in the wrong direction. The sense of wholeness we seek does not come from outside. It comes from realizing our connection to the whole. To begin seeing beyond this illusion, simply observe. Watch how everything changes and flows. See how breath moves in and out, how the body ages, how thoughts come and go. Notice how nothing exists by itself. The tree needs the sun, the rain, and the soil. The body needs the air, the food, the warmth. We are never separate, not even for a moment. When we recognize this, something shifts. Fear lessens, struggle softens. A quiet knowing arises. We are already part of something vast and complete. There is nothing to become, only something to remember. If we are never separate from the source of all life, why do we feel lost? Why do we struggle? The answer is simple. We forget. Like clouds covering the sun, distractions, desires, and fears block our awareness of what has always been present. We often look for stability in things that change: money, relationships, status. But nothing in this world remains the same. The body ages, emotions shift, situations evolve. When we cling to what is temporary, we create suffering. The more we hold on, the more we fear losing what we have. This is why returning to the source is not about gaining something new, but about letting go of what is false. Letting go does not mean rejecting life. It means seeing things as they are, without grasping. A river does not try to hold on to its water. It simply flows. In the same way, when we stop resisting change, we flow with life instead of against it. This is the beginning of peace. How do we return to the source? By turning inward. Instead of chasing after thoughts, we observe them. Instead of reacting to emotions, we witness them. The source is not found in the future, nor in the past. It is here now, beneath the noise of the mind. A traveler lost in the mountains may panic and run in circles, hoping to find a way home. But if he stops, breathes, and looks carefully, he might see a path that was always there. In the same way, when we become still, we begin to see clearly. The source has never left us. We have only been looking in the wrong direction. Returning to the source is not a single moment, but a way of being. With each breath, each step, each quiet moment, we remember, we are already home. Recognizing the source is one thing, but how do we live in harmony with it? Awareness alone is not enough. We must embody this understanding in the way we move through life, in our actions, our words, and even our thoughts. Life constantly changes, like waves in the ocean. Sometimes the waters are calm, sometimes they are rough. If we resist this movement, we suffer. But when we align ourselves with the natural flow, we experience a deeper sense of peace. Living in harmony with the Source means trusting this flow, even when we do not understand where it leads. One way to practice this is through simplicity. The more complicated our lives become, the easier it is to lose sight of what truly matters. When we are always chasing, always wanting, our minds become restless. But when we simplify, when we focus on what is essential, we create space for clarity. We begin to hear the quiet voice of wisdom that has always been within us. Another way is through presence. We often live in our thoughts, replaying the past or worrying about the future. But life only happens in this moment. A single breath, fully experienced, connects us to the present. A single act of kindness, done with awareness, brings us closer to the Source. There is no need to wait for some perfect moment in the future. Each moment is an opportunity to return. Lastly, we must remember that living in harmony with the Source does not mean withdrawing from life. It is not about escaping the world, but moving through it with wisdom. We can engage in our responsibilities, our relationships, and our challenges, while remaining connected to something deeper. Just as a tree bends with the wind, but remains rooted in the earth, we too can meet life's changes with flexibility, without losing our center. When we live in this way, life becomes less of a struggle. We stop fighting against the current and allow it to carry us. And in that surrender, we find not weakness, but strength. Not loss, but freedom. Not emptiness, but the fullness of life itself. The source of all life is not something distant or hidden. It has never left us. It is present in the rising and falling of each breath, in the quiet moments between thoughts, in the simple act of being here. No special effort is needed, only the willingness to see what has always been. Life does not need to be controlled or forced. Just as the sun rises without our command, and the rivers flow without hesitation, there is a natural rhythm to all things. When we stop struggling against this rhythm, we find ease. When we trust it, we find peace. Perhaps there have been moments in your life when you felt a deep sense of connection, even if only for an instant. A time when everything felt complete, when there was no need to search for anything more. These moments are not random. They are glimpses of the truth that we are already whole. The more we recognize this, the more such moments appear, until they are no longer moments, but a way of being. Even as we continue our daily lives, facing challenges and uncertainties, we can return to this understanding again and again. With each breath, with each step, we can remember, we are never separate from the Source. We are already home. Before we close, I want to express my deep gratitude to those who support this journey. Your kind words, your engagement, and your generosity mean more than I can say. Whether through a like, a comment, a subscription, or a super thanks, your presence here is deeply appreciated. Thank you for walking this path together. Until next time, may you move through life with ease, trusting the flow of all things.